Here I am going to discuss about load test on three-phase induction motor. Okay, and three-phase induction motor, how we are performing load test and why we are performing load test of a three-phase induction motor. And here the aim of the experiment is to perform the load test on three-phase induction motor, and then we have to find the efficiency of a three-phase induction motor and what is the torque of induction motor, what is output power, input power, and power factor slip, and the speed of the induction motor. All those things we have to define, and we have to plot the characteristics of efficiency versus output, torque versus output, line current versus output power. Okay, like that. For that purpose we are using load test of a three-phase induction motor. Okay, now see what are the instruments required in three-phase induction motor. Before that we will see we are having this type of induction motor, AC motor, 2 to 3 HP, three phase. Because of three phase the voltage will be 415 and the rated current will be 3.6 to 4.8, and the speed of the induction motor will be 1440 rpm. Okay, this nameplate we can see in the motor itself. Now what are the instruments we needed for this experiment? First one is a ammeter, and here we are using MI type ammeter, that is moving iron. There are two types of ammeter, moving coil normally used, moving coil and moving iron. And here we are using a moving iron ammeter of rating 5 ampere. Why we have taken 5 ampere? Because here rated current will be 3.6 to 4.8. That's why we have taken ammeter of 5 ampere, and we needs one ammeter. And then next voltmeter, that is also moving iron, 500 volt voltmeter, because here we are having the supply voltage for 15, or we are using three-phase supply. That's why we are taking the voltmeter above that rated voltage, that is 500 volt. And then next is wattmeter. Here we are using dynamometer type wattmeter, and its rating will be 2.5 to 5 ampere. Voltage will be 150, 300, 600 volt. Okay, and for this purpose we will connect 5 ampere and 600 volt of terminal of this wattmeter, because here our supply voltage will be 415. That's why we have to take the rating of wattmeter above the 415 volt, and the current rating will be 3.6 to 4.8 ampere. That's why we have to take the current also above that rated value. And here we are using a DOL starter, because in the rating they had given it's 2 to 3 HP, and for 2 to 3 HP normally we are using DOL starter. And if the output power is high, then we have to use star delta or whatever, star delta type starter. And this is starter is used to starting of the induction motor. Okay, now actually what is the main purpose of this load test means, actually the load test is to performed in this induction motor is to compute the performance of torque. Okay, what is the torque produced in the in this case, that we have to see. And then we have to see the slip. Okay, actually what is slip is the relative motion between the synchronous speed and the rotor speed, and where synchronous speed is the speed of the rotating field of the rotating magnetic field. Okay, that also we have to see. And then here we will compute the efficiency of the induction motor, and then we will compute the power factor of the induction motor. Okay, and this during this test the motor, it is operated at a rated voltage and rated frequency, and by and we are observing the data, and we will we will compute the performance of the motor by using this observed data. Okay, then next we will see one by one what is slip of a induction motor. Okay, actually the slip of an induction motor, it is the slip is the relative, or it is the difference between the synchronous speed and the rotor speed. Okay, and then what is synchronous speed and rotor speed, and we are expressed the slip of an induction motor in percentage, that we can write as ns minus n by ns into 100. Okay, and normally we are expressed slip in percentage. And what is synchronous speed? Here synchronous speed is the speed of rotating magnetic field. Okay, but the rotating magnetic field produced in the stator, that the speed of that rotating magnetic field is known as synchronous speed, and that will be equal to 120 f by p, where f is the supply frequency and p is the number of pole of the motor. Okay, now we can the value of the slip, it is ranges from 2 to 5 percentage of the full load. Okay, that full slip at the full load, normally the value will vary. Next we will see what is torque. Okay, for finding torque, how to find the torque. Normally mechanical loading we are commonly used in laboratory. A brake drum is coupled to the shaft of the motor, and we are applying loads by tightening the belt or provided on the brake drum. Okay, and the net force exerted at the brake drum, that will be in the kilogram, and it is obtained from here while giving the load we are having two spring balance, and here we are putting the brake drum load. Okay, and here the weight will be marked as S1 and S2, and total load will we are taking by obtained by taking reading from S1 and S2. Okay, this is the spring balance, the output torque, and we can write the output of a induction motor, that will be equal to torque into, okay, whatever the torque we are obtained from this into the speed of the induction motor. Okay, that means we will measure the speed of induction motor by using tachometer. Okay, the tachometer is we placed at the shaft of the induction motor, and we will measure the speed for different loads, and from that we will get the output of the induction motor. Okay, now the speed of induction motor, it does not vary with the low torque with increasing load. And here net force, that will be that what is the net force, that we are finding out by S1 minus S2. We will do S1 minus S2, or net weight, what is the net weight or net weight of the load, and then we can find the load torque, that will be equal to the net weight into d by 2. Okay, that the unit will be kilogram per meter, and where we can write it, or we can write it as the net weight into d by 2 into 9.8, and here d is the effective diameter of the brake drum in meter. Okay, like that we can find out the total torque. And then output power, how we will find out the output power? We know the equation output power of an induction motor is 2 pi nt by 60, and nt we will get from this equation, and we will find out the output power of the each load. Okay, then next we have to find the input power. Okay, torque will be, we got the torque we are getting from this equation, and for different load, and output power we'll find out by the equation P0 is equal to 2 pi nt by 60, and for different load we will find the output power also. Okay, now next we have to find what is the input power. Okay, the input power of a induction motor, that we are finding by using, here we are using 2 wattmeter. Here number of wattmeter is 2 wattmeter, and by measuring the value of 2 wattmeter we will get input power. Input power will be equal to W1 plus W2. Okay, 2 wattmeter we are using. By adding these two reading we will get the input power, and then we will measure the power factor of a induction motor also. Okay, and here in induction motor the power factor at a no load condition is very low, because such in no load condition induction motor have the magnetizing current is very high, and the power factor is related to magnetizing current, so that at the starting or no load condition the power factor will be very low in the case of induction motor. And here we will find the power factor by using the wattmeter reading W1 and W2. Okay, and then after finding power factor we have to find the efficiency, and here to this calculation we got input power and output power. And how we will find the efficiency? Efficiency will be output power by input power into 100. Okay, that will be the efficiency, and normally it varies from 70, its range lies the range of 72% to 82%. Okay, next, in what is the speed of an induction motor? Actually, when the motor it will run in no load condition, the speed will be less than the synchronous speed, and if you are increasing the load, then again what happened, the speed will also get reduced, and that's why the EMF induced in the rotor that cause current increase to produce a high torque until the torque developed that will be equal to the required torque on the induction motor. Okay, and all these parameters we will get from load test. That's why we are conducting the main aim of the load test. We have to find the efficiency of an induction motor, and what is the speed, and what is the changes in the current, stator current and rotor current. All those things we have to find by using load test on an induction motor. And which type of induction motor? That depends. If it is a slip ring induction motor, mainly there are two types of induction motor: slip ring induction motor and squirrel cage induction motor, and depends on that which type of induction motor we will use, and we will perform the load test. Now we will see how we will draw the circuit diagram of a induction motor. Here we see the circuit diagram, and for starting we need the 2 wattmeter, that is for measuring the input power. Here W1 and W2 are the 2 wattmeter. Here 3 sections are there. One is input, and then 2 wattmeter, then output. And here we are connecting 2 wattmeter and then one ammeter to measure the current, and we are connecting a voltmeter between the two phases for measuring the voltage. And the ammeter range will be 5 ampere because our rated current will be 3.6 to 48 ampere, and voltmeter range will be 500 volt because we are using 3-phase voltage. And then wattmeter range will be we are using 500-600 volt dynamometer type wattmeter. Okay, now see here, in this the input will be 3-phase, that's why we are having 3-phase, that is RYB, and we are applying 415 volt. Okay, that we are connecting through a variac to the, this is the stator we are connected in the delta connected mode, that a variac is connected to the stator terminal. The stator 3 terminals you can see, and the terminals of wattmeters are MLCV, and the load is connected to the stator, and here also the load, L means the load is connected to here, and the voltage terminals are short circuited in the wattmeter, and this wattmeter will read W1 and W2, that is the power for different load, and the input power will be the sum of 2 wattmeter reading. Okay, then now this is the rotor section, and here we are giving the load at the rotor section. Here at the rotor we will be having two in this spring balance loads will be there. We have to apply this load and corresponding current, voltage and wattmeter reading we have to measure, and we have to see what is the weightage of the spring balance load. Okay, now this is the circuit diagram of a three-phase low test on three-phase induction motor. Okay, now how we will see the experiment. Before that, I am going to what all those things we are measuring from the experiment. For the observation table, this is the circuit diagram. Next will be the observation table. In observation table, first we have to minimum 5 readings we are taking, and first we will see what is the line voltage, input voltage, that we are measuring by using voltmeter. Line voltage we have to measure. So 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, what is the line voltage that we have to measure, and after that we will measure what is the current, that we are measuring by using ammeter for measuring the current. Okay, and then after that what is the reading of W1, that is the power. Okay, and then what is the reading of W2, and then we have to see the weight of these two loads, that is S1 and S2, and for different load what is the current, voltage and current, voltage and power we have to measure, and finally we have to measure the speed of the rotor by using a tachometer. These all those things we have to measure, and now we will see what is the procedure for doing this experiment. First what we will do, first we will do the connection as per the circuit diagram. Means RYB we will connect it to a variac, and then that is connected to the stator part of the induction motor, and an ammeter is connected to one of the phase, and that is seriously connected to the wattmeter M winding, and the load winding is connected to stator terminal, and the V winding of W1 is short circuited to the V winding of the W2, and voltmeter is connected between the two phases, and here we are giving the load. Okay, now see, first variac we will set to 0. Initially we are setting as a 0, and will vary, and the output voltage will be 0. Okay, now we will on the supply and start the motor at a reduced applied voltage, because here we are using DOL starter, that's why the voltage will be reduced, and the voltage we will increase by varying variac. We will increase the voltage up to its rated voltage. Okay, here what is the rated voltage? 315 volt, and we will vary the variac, and we will measure the corresponding voltage up to its we will vary the variac and vary the voltage up to its rated voltage. Now we will see the direction of the rotation of the motor. In case it reverse, what we are doing, okay, first we will see the direction of rotation, then if it is a correct direction then it's okay, and if it is a reverse, what we will do, we will just change the phase sequence of the upward voltage. Okay, now by varying the voltage we will take the reading. Okay, that means if the rotor is rotating at a correct direction, then the same circuit will use, and if it is rotating in the reverse direction, we will change the polarity of the, or we will change the applied the phase sequence of the applied voltage. Okay, now by corresponding value, first we will take for 1 voltage we will vary the variac, and for suppose it is a 50 volt corresponding wattmeter reading, and then we will take if it is a 50 volt corresponding ammeter reading, we will take W1 W2, and if initially that will be no load condition, what is the speed, and again if you are giving the voltage, increasing the voltage, if it is a 60, what is the current and what is W1 W2, then we will start to apply some weight. Suppose it is 5 kg and 10 kg and its corresponding weight. Okay, like that we will vary the voltage up to its rated voltage, and corresponding current, corresponding power in the wattmeter, and what is the weight of the load, and we will measure the speed under all this condition. Okay, in the first case it is a no load condition. Now we will, and then we will give the load, and we will measure the speed also. Okay, now this observation we will continue up to the rated current. Okay, the rated current of the motor when we will get. And then now what we will do, then we will how we cannot suddenly switch off the shut down the motor. What we will do, first we will reduce the load one by one, and then we will switch off the supply to the stop the motor. Okay, and after that we have to here one springs like that, we have to measure the diameter of the brake drum also, and these are the procedure we are using to take the reading. See, by using all this reading, first we will find out what is the current. Okay, what is the current, and then we will find out the input power, because we know that input power is the sum of W1 plus W2. Then output power, we know the equation, by substituting that we will get the output power, and then we will find what is the slip. Okay, and we know that synchronous speed, and we will get the rotor speed from this observation table, and we will find the slip corresponding to each load, and then we will find the power factor corresponding to each load, and finally we will find the efficiency of each efficiency corresponding to each load. Okay, after getting all this reading, we have to plot the characteristics, how we will, or load performance, how we will plot. Here we will take as this is the load or output power, and here we will take as first quantity efficiency, then we will find slip, and then torque, then what is power factor, and what is speed. Okay, I means the output power, P out versus this, all those things we have to plot. Okay, and here corresponding to this value, here we have to plot the all the reading. See here in the performance curve, this will be the output power, this is efficiency, load, torque, power factor, speed, and here this is the load curve, and this is the torque versus output power, and this is the power factor versus output power, and this is the efficiency curve, and this is the rotor speed. And here you can see initially the rotor speed will be high, and while applying load the speed will be decreasing. Okay, this is the characteristics of a three-phase induction motor.